It was the kind of moment that left the whole set frozen mouths open, cameras rolling, and no one saying a word. Jasmine didn't just show up uninvited. She didn't just reveal she was pregnant with Kirk's baby. This time, she went straight for the jugular. Rasheeda was still reeling from the heartbreak when Jasmine looked her dead in the face, smirked, and said, "You'll never be his wife again." The way she said it, cold, proud, like she'd won something, like she was wearing Rasheeda's crown. And the moment the words left her lips, the entire internet went into meltdown mode. Fans screamed betrayal. Castmates couldn't believe it. And Rasheeda, Shell stood there like her soul had just been slapped. This wasn't a fight anymore. This was full-on war. And baby, Jasmine came to finish what she started. The studio lights were dimmed, but the tension was blinding. After everything, the leaked vows, the baby bombshell, and Rasheeda's exit, producers thought the storm had passed. They were wrong. What happened next wasn't a breakdown. It was a takeover. Jasmine strutted into the confessionals room like she owned the entire set. No apologies, no hesitation. Her belly bump now slightly more visible, her hair sleek and straight, and that sharp pink blazer that screamed, "I'm the star now." The crew didn't even have time to mic her up properly before she leaned into the chair and whispered, "Y'all still crying over that man's old wife? I'm carrying his legacy now." Boom. Clip. Uploaded viral in 30 minutes. But the real chaos hadn't even begun yet. Backstage, Rasheeda had returned for pickups. Low-key, eyes tired, hoodie up, and still processing the last emotional ambush. She didn't want drama. She just came to close her chapter professionally until she saw the screen. A monitor was playing Jasmine's unreleased confessional, and Rasheeda froze. Her lips parted, her fists clenched. Because that's when she heard the words that would set the whole Love and Hip Hop franchise ablaze. "You'll never be his wife again." The room went dead silent. Rasheeda just stared. A small hey escaped her lips, not laughter, but that dangerous kind of scoff women give right before the clapback of the decade, without a word. She turned around, snatched the mic from a stunned PA, and marched straight toward the studio set. Cut to the main stage. Jasmine was lounging, sipping from a fancy Love and Hip Hop mug, like she had something to celebrate. Carly, Red, and Spice were off to the side, whispering. Even Mona peeked from the production booth. Then the doors opened, and Rasheeda walked in, not crying, not trembling, glowing in rage, like a woman who'd finally snapped. "Oh, Shasterisk tea," Spice muttered under her breath. Carly's jaw dropped. She came back. Jasmine turned her head slowly and grinned. Well, look who finally grew a backbone." Rasheeda walked. Straight up, no stalling, no fake TV delay, just heat. "You said I'll never be his wife again," Rasheeda said, voice cold and razor sharp. "Baby, I was the wife while you were still sneaking in the back door." The cast gasped. Cameras zoomed. Jasmine smirked and sipped. "And now you're divorced while I'm pregnant. Full circle, huh?" Rasheeda didn't flinch. Pregnant don't equal priority. It equals responsibility, but you wouldn't know that. You're still playing side chick with main character delusions. The audience, even the crew, lost it. Jasmine stood up. "I'm not the side anymore." "No," Rasheeda fired back. "You're the distraction." Big difference. Boom. Mic check. Wordplay. Deadly. Jasmine's smile faded. That's real rich coming from a woman whose man can't keep his zipper closed. Jasmine sneered. "He didn't just sleep with me, sweetheart. He made a choice. Again and again and again. You just kept covering for it. You weren't the wife, you were the cleanup crew." Ooh. The whole set erupted. Mona mouthed, "Keep rolling." Spice literally fanned herself. Carly whispered, "Somebody bout to swing." But Rasheeda didn't move. She took a breath, looked Jasmine dead in the face, and said, "I covered his dirt for years because I had a family to protect. I stayed loyal to the lie because I thought I was building a legacy. But the second I saw you flaunting a baby, like it's a Birkin, I realized the only one I've been disrespecting, is me. Even Jasmine looked shook for a second. Then she crossed her arms and said, "Cute speech. You still single, though?" Rasheeda smiled. But it was that scary, calm smile. Single. And finally, free. And she walked out. Jasmine stood there, suddenly unsure. That wasn't the reaction she wanted. She wanted Rasheeda to crumble, but instead, Rasheeda left empowered, stronger, louder, respected. And for the first time, Jasmine started to feel that she wasn't in control anymore. Just hours after, Rasheeda walked out with her head high and dignity fully intact. The internet flipped on its axis again. What was supposed to be another messy love and hip-hop moment had now become a national discussion on self-worth, betrayal, and the pettiest clapbacks in TV history. Clips of Rasheeda's showdown with Jasmine went viral on every platform. TikTok, 8.9 million views in 5 hours. Instagram, 3.2 million reels plays X. Twitter, hashtag free RASHEEDA was trending number one in the US, but as usual, Jasmine couldn't help herself. She went live. Yes, live again. Sitting in her living room with a soft glam face, holding her belly, sipping juice like nothing just imploded on national TV. "You can trend all day." She smirked at the camera. "But the fact is, he's not choosing you anymore. He chose me. He gave me vows. And now he's giving me a baby. Cry about it." Someone in the comments typed, "Didn't he also cry when Rasheeda walked out, though?" Another said, "Girl, you just won the boy. Rasheeda had the man." But Jasmine, she wasn't done. She looked at the comments and said, "Listen, I'm not here to debate with people who still think being the wife means anything. He was cheating on that title the whole time. I'm the one who got his attention. Now I got his bloodline. Period." Boom, that line hit like a nuke. But it also backfired badly, because Rasheeda's fans, they weren't playing. Within hours, a whole movement began. Hashtag protect. RASHEEDA hash legacy. AIN, single quotes to lust hashtag babies. 10 Fix Broken Men fan. Pages started digging. Screenshots of Kirk's old demise with other women were reposted. Leaked voicemails surfaced, including one from Kirk, allegedly begging Rasheeda not to leave just 2 days after the Jasmine reveal. In the voicemail, his voice is shaking. "I ain't got nobody like you. You built me. She just choose noise. Sheeda, please don't let this be the end." The leak set the internet ablaze. Even celebs started reacting. Saweetie commented, "Rasheeda too classy." "I would have thrown a chair," Tamar Braxton said. "I'd rather be alone than share a man like that." Keek Palmer reposted Rasheeda's "I choose me" clip and added, "This the energy, okay." Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Kirk was crumbling. He'd been ordered to do a sit-down confessional to clean up the mess. He showed up late, eyes puffy, barely able to speak. "I never meant for it to go this far," he muttered to producers. "I didn't know Jasmine would go that hard. I didn't even know about the baby until after ... and by then I was stuck." Producer leaned forward. "Did you ever love Jasmine?" Kirk hesitated. "I liked the attention. She made me feel powerful again. But love? Nah. I only loved Rasheeda." And with that, his face dropped. He knew it was too late. But the producers weren't done. They pulled out something no one saw coming. A third woman had come forward. An anonymous email had hit VH1's inbox titled, "I was with Kirk the night he gave Jasmine the vows." Attached were receipts, hotel bookings, an Uber screen, and a voice note of Kirk saying, "I gotta make it look real for the camera, but it's always been you." Boom, game over. The entire narrative flipped again. Jasmine wasn't the only side. She was just the loudest. And Rasheeda. She'd been disrespected worse than fans ever imagined. Back at the studio, Mona slammed her hand on the desk. This ain't a show anymore. This is a war zone. And baby, she was about to turn that war into ratings gold. Backstage at the LHHATL studio, things had gone from wild to full-blown chaotic. Jasmine had just gone live bragging about being the chosen one, claiming she now carried Kirk's legacy, while the entire internet watched her illusion crack in real time. Because what Jasmine didn't know was that producers now had the third woman's receipts. And Mona, she wasn't holding nothing back. The very next day, Mona summoned Jasmine to the studio under the pretense of filming a clarity scene. Jasmine showed up wearing a lime green fitted dress, her bump outlined, nails sharp as claws, thinking she was about to shut the haters up once and for all. But instead, she walked into a chair, a camera, and a full dossier of receipts waiting for her. "Have a seat," the producer said calmly. Jasmine raised a brow. "This a reunion tease?" The producer didn't smile. T slid the folder across the table. Inside, a screenshot of Kirk booking a hotel on the same night he proposed his vows to Jasmine. A clip of Kirk's voice saying, "It's all for TV." A voice note from an unnamed woman saying, "He told me Jasmine was just a storyline." Jasmine flipped through the pages, her expression morphing from smug to stunned to straight up furious. "What is this *T? She snapped. "This is what you didn't see while you were busy trying to replace Rasheeda." The producer said bluntly. Jasmine stood up, slamming the folder shut. Nah, I don't believe it. Kirk wouldn't. He already did." Mona said, suddenly stepping in from behind the curtain. "You came in swinging, Jasmine, but you swung for a man who was playing all of y'all. Jasmine's eyes filled with tears. But she wiped them quick, refusing to let the cameras catch her cracking. "You're lying," she hissed. "This is Rasheeda's doing. She's trying to destroy me." "No, baby," Mona said softly. "Kirk destroyed you." Cut to Rasheeda's Airbnb. She was sitting by the window, sipping tea. Going through her DMEs, most of them were support, thousands of fans telling her she inspired them to leave their toxic situations. That her strength gave them courage, but then she got a message that stopped her cold. "I was the other woman, and I didn't even know he was married. I want to apologize." Attached photos, dates, more receipts. Okay? Lying selfie, Kirk lying shirtless in the same bed he and Rasheeda once shared, laughing. Flashing peace signs. Rasheeda's hand shook. She whispered to herself, "He was still lying to both of us." But instead of crying, she smiled. Not a happy smile. A dangerous one. The kind that says you've done turned a good woman into a savage. 3 days later, Rasheeda posted a teaser clip on IG caption, "Y'all ready for my side of the story? Coming soon. Rasheeda, the wife, the war, the walk away." The clip showed her standing in front of her closet, pulling out boxes, shoes, bags, photos, and a framed wedding photo she slowly placed into a burning fireplace. The comments blew up. "Oh, she ready? Ready? The rebrand finna be historic. Jasmine shaking RN, that fire pit took me out, and guess who was watching that post over and over?" Jasmine. She was back at her condo, now visibly fuming. Her phone rang. It was a blocked number. She answered, thinking it might be press. Instead, a voice on the other end said, "You really thought you had it all, huh? Turns out you were just another plot twist." Click. She stared at the screen, breathing hard. And then she picked up her own phone and DM'd Rasheeda. "You? Want to play fire with fire? Let's see if you can handle the heat, Mrs. Ex-Wife." Mere hours after Rasheeda's savage teaser. Clip dropped. That wedding photo slipping into the fireplace like a whole decade of lies going up in smoke. The internet declared one thing: Rasheeda's era has begun. But Jasmine, she wasn't about to let that shine last too long, because while the world was celebrating Rasheeda's rebirth, Jasmine was planning a whole ambush. It started with a flyer. Yup, an actual event flyer posted to Jasmine's story. Kirk Frost baby celebration coming soon, gender reveal, private rooftop party, all cast invited. Location? Undisclosed but filmed by VH1 tagline. Let the real wife step aside. It's my season now. The comments went wild. This gotta be a joke. It's really throwing a party for a man who cheated on her? 2. No, this giving ... delusional. She just want to poke Rasheeda at this point. But the shock didn't end there. The same day, Rasheeda's production team got an anonymous package inside a USB stick titled The Other Ring. It was raw footage from the night of Kirk's secret proposal to Jasmine, but with audio no one had ever heard in it. Jasmine asks, "You sure this is real? You still seeing anyone else?" And Kirk responds, "Rasheeda, don't know a thing. I got this handled. You're the one I want in front of these cameras now." Boom. The betrayal wasn't just deep. It was calculated. Now, Rasheeda. She didn't shed a tear. She watched the footage, breathed deep, and whispered, "So that's what it always was? A performance." She didn't flinch, didn't rant, didn't even call her mama. Instead, she called her stylist. "Get me something red. I'm going to that rooftop." Fast forward to the night of the event. Jasmine's party was decked out in pink and blue LED lights. Champagne was flowing. A huge baby frost banner hung across the skyline. Camera crews swarmed the scene. Cast members looked uncomfortable, and Kirk. He was standing at the back of the rooftop, eyes down, hands in his pockets, looking like a man at his own funeral. But Jasmine, she was glowing. Dressed in all white, bump-out mic on, grinning like she just won a Grammy. She picked up the mic and said, "Tonight we celebrate new beginnings, not drama, not the past, but the future. Me and Kirk's baby." And then the elevator doors opened, and in walked Rasheeda, head high, wrapped in a blood-red pantsuit that screamed war. The crowd gasped. Cameras whipped around. Even Mona looked shocked. Kirk turned pale. Jasmine blinked. "Hire you?" Rasheeda held up the USB in her hand and cut her off. "I brought a gift, since you like surprises." The DJ paused the music. Rasheeda marched to the DJ booth, handed him the USB, and said, "Play track 1. And just like that, Kirk's confession played out loud in front of everybody. "Rasheeda, don't know a thing. I got this handled. You're the one I want in front of these cameras now." Silence. Jasmine dropped her glass. Kirk stumbled forward. "Wait, that's out of context," but Rasheeda had the final word. She turned to Jasmine, smiled, and said, "You said I'd never be his wife again. But you were never more than a storyline." Then she walked out. No mic drop. Just heels on concrete and a reputation left in shreds after Rasheeda walked out of Jasmine's gender reveal party like a red-dressed Avenger with a USB full of undeniable proof. It wasn't just a mic drop. It was a career-defining moment. Every blog, every page, every meme account was eating it up. Rasheeda aired them out with receipts. "Kirk just got exposed at his own baby's party, you said. What, Jasmine? Never his wife again? Baby, ... She wrote the book. But while Rasheeda was becoming a symbol of power and poise, Jasmine was crumbling. And fast out the next morning, Jasmine posted a string of cryptic stories. Her crying on her bathroom floor, a now deleted caption, "They never loved me. They just used me for a story." An unhinged text screenshot where she typed to Kirk, "You embarrassed me. You let her humiliate me. On camera." AGAIN. Kirk didn't respond publicly, but privately. He was facing a whole new storm from someone he couldn't ignore. His daughter, Kelsey Frost. The daughter who had remained mostly quiet through her father's cheating scandals in the past. Finally spoke up. "And it wasn't pretty," she called him. "You said you were done with this, Dad. You said you were fixing things with Mom. But you out here lying to everyone." Again. Kirk tried to defend himself. "I didn't know she'd play that audio, Kelsey. That wasn't the plan. I didn't even remember saying half that stuff. You remember ENOUGH, she snapped. You had a wife, a daughter, a family. You chose to chase attention. Now you live with it." Kirk sat in silence, phone in hand, knowing the damage wasn't just on camera anymore. It was personal, deep, generational. Meanwhile, Rasheeda wasn't sitting still. She wasn't. Healing quietly. She was rebranding loudly on her Instagram. She posted the official poster for her upcoming documentary special, Wife, Warrior, Woman. Executive produced by Rasheeda. Guest appearances, Candy Burris, Yandi Smith, Remy Ma. Streaming release date sooner than you think. Fans were in shock. She got a whole series coming. And she brought Candy? Yeah, Jasmine can't breathe RN. This ain't a comeback. This is a takeover. And just to add fuel to the fire, she posted a teaser clip of her in studio working on a brand new single. Lyrics leaked, I wore the ring, wore the scars, now I'm flexin' past your dirty bars. You gave her a baby, I gave you a crown, but kings fall hard when queens step down. The internet melted Jasmine. Watching all this unfold from her phone was spiraling. She deemed producers saying she wanted to sit down with Rasheeda on camera. One last talk, she wrote. Mona approved it immediately, but Rasheeda, she hit decline. Then posted a story with the words, I said what I said, and I'm done sharing the mic. The night had finally come, Rasheeda's documentary premiere. A sleek black and gold carpet was rolled out in downtown Atlanta. Paparazzi lined up, celebs pulled up, and Rasheeda. She stepped out of a matte black SUV, wearing a shimmering floor-length gown with custom embroidery that read, Wife, Warrior, Woman. Cameras flashed like thunder. Her glam squad had outdone themselves. Her aura, untouchable. But behind the glitz and elegance, storm was brewing. Because Jasmine wasn't on the guest list. But she was on her way. Back inside the venue, the energy was electric. VH1 cameras were rolling. Industry insiders were whispering, this is Rasheeda's lemonade moment. The lights dimmed. The opening of the documentary played. Rasheeda's voice narrated over black and white footage of her wedding. Her tears, her betrayal, they tried to silence me with shame. They tried to replace me with chaos, but I'm still here, stronger, louder, realer. The crowd erupted. Backstage, Rasheeda's team was celebrating, till a security guard ran in. She's here, he whispered. Who? Rasheeda's assistant asked. Oh, Jasmine? She's in the lobby. She's in the lobby. Jasmine stood outside the ballroom doors in a tight black dress. Bump out, lip gloss on, rage simmering. She wasn't here to congratulate. She was here to make noise. I deserve to speak. She shouted. You aired your truth, Rasheeda. What about mine? Security tried to calm her, but cameras had already spotted her. Phones were recording. Guests were turning. The energy in the building shifted from red carpet to red alert. Suddenly, Rasheeda stepped out from backstage. Calm, she looked Jasmine dead in the face and said, You already spoke, Jasmine. But this ain't your mic anymore. Jasmine snapped back. You think you're better than me. You walked away and left him with me. I'm raising his child while you collect sympathy. Rasheeda's smile faded. She stepped forward and whispered loud enough for everyone to hear. And you'll raise that child knowing their father was never yours to begin with. I gave you his lies. I kept my peace. Boom. The crowd gasped. Jasmine lunged, but security grabbed her just in time. A heel flew off, a camera fell. And Mona, standing in the corner, whispering to her assistant, Don't cut. This is Emmy-worthy. Rasheeda walked back into the ballroom, unfazed. The screen now showed the final shot of the documentary, her walking away from her old house. Wedding. Ring dropped in slow motion on the pavement. Then, the last 5 seconds of the film shocked everybody. A surprise voiceover kicked in. It was Rasheeda. Calm, clear, powerful. Some women cry when it ends. I smiled, because I finally remembered who I was before I ever said I do. Fade to black, and just like that, Rasheeda didn't just close a chapter. She burned the whole book and wrote a new one. Jasmine tried to steal the spotlight, but Rasheeda turned the entire storyline into her victory lap. No breakdowns, no begging. It's pure growth, power, and presence. Kirk was left with the weight of his actions, exposed by his daughter, dismissed by his wife, and now forgotten by the culture. Jasmine's legacy may be a baby, but Rasheeda's. It's a movement, a symbol, a reminder that real queens don't compete with chaos. They rise from it. Fans are calling this the greatest turnaround in love and hip-hop history. And baby, the way Rasheeda did it, with grace and fire. It's a masterclass. So subscribe, stay tuned, and keep your eyes locked, because the next time Rasheeda steps on screen, she's not just telling her story. She's owning the whole show.